you see. That's fake, believe, that's all you need. Can't sleep, but I dream. I see.
All right, welcome to another episode of How I See It. I'm your host, Delaun Dillard. Happy to have you here. We are talking small businesses, specifically woman-owned small businesses. I have Latasha Norwood, CEO of the She Said Foundation.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Happy to have you here, and you're having the She Said conference this upcoming weekend, correct?
Yes, that's right. We are excited.
Tell me more about the conference. Now, when this airs, because it airs the Monday after the conference.
Yes.
But for people who may not know about the conference and want to keep their antennas up for the next one,
yeah.
And of course, we'll talk more about your organization and stuff too. But tell me more about the conference first and foremost.
So the conference brings together women who are looking to start, grow, and scale sustainable businesses. I will be honest with you. Being a CEO, being a business owner can be lonely. Mm-hmm. And there's no roadmap or there is no Siri that says, hey, how do I develop a profit and loss statement? So our conference brings together subject matter experts and women in one room in our power suits and sneakers who are ready to learn how to work on their business. So at the conference, you'll get workshops from everything from AI and technology to finance and everything in between. So it is an incredible opportunity to work on your business.
When we were talking about how you started this conference, this didn't just start as you saying, look, I'm going to start a conference. And then the conference started. Tell me, how did this start from the beginning?
Yes. So way back in 2015, as I was growing my thriving business, women were asking for help. They were asking for support, and they were asking a ton of questions that I felt like was a cry, like a rally cry to say, I need help. And I feel like doing nothing really does nothing. So I decided I would just bring these women together and we'd host a dinner. We'd have a collaborative conversation about what works, what doesn't work, and what turned into a over 200 number of women who were there. We were able to bring them together to really talk about what it means to have allies in the community, what it means to scale your business to be a multi-million-dollar company. And now 9 years later, we are still touching thousands of women. So it's been a great opportunity over the years. We do this every year in October, which is National Women's Small Business Month. And so we are targeting women who really want to understand how to really tap in and how to build a legacy business that's sustainable. And
like you said, you've been doing this 9 years now. Did you ever expect when you did the first conference for it to be what it is today? And about how many women attend the conference?
So no, I had no idea that it was going to be at this level. When we first started it was just a one-time thing, I thought, but here we are 9 years later. We've touched thousands of women. On average, we typically hover around 200 women. We like to keep it small and intimate. I know for some that might feel like a big number, and for others it's a little bit small, but we want to make sure that it's intimate enough that women feel like they can build community, that they have an ecosystem around them of people who look just like them, and they can be honest and transparent about where they are and what they need.
How does it feel for you being able to help so many women? Being a woman, a CEO yourself, and when we talk about being a woman in leadership, which is already hard as it is, how does it feel for you to help other women and pour into other women?
You know, it really is my life's mission. It is so gratifying to be able to do this. And you know, there's a lyric in a Jay-Z song where it talks about if everybody else is struggling and you're successful, then that's really not success. And that's really honestly how I feel. Every time I succeed in business, every time I learn something, every time I clear a hurdle, I know that somebody else is going to be facing that landmine or that challenge very soon. And so it feels so great to hear someone say that they've been able to scale their business, that they were awarded a government contract, that they went into a joint venture partnership. It feels, it's a euphoric feeling that I just cannot describe, but it is a constant reminder that the work that we're doing is purposeful and it's needed.
Do you, because the big topic with my podcast, How I See This, talking about how you see certain topics, especially when we're talking about topics that impact people of color. Yeah. Being a woman of color in leadership, owning your own business, CEO of your own business, what do you feel like are the biggest hurdles that women who look like you in leadership face?
So I will tell you
entrepreneurship.
That, yes. So there are 14 million women-owned businesses in this country, and they account for $2.7 trillion in revenue. And while those numbers sound amazing, it doesn't necessarily look like that for women of color. Many of them have not even crossed the threshold of 6 figures in their business. They are using their 401k. They're trying to bootstrap their businesses. And so one of the major things is access to capital. It can be very difficult for someone who's never been in business before to know how to pitch or to know how to build a loan package to be able to go into a large financial institution and say, hey, bet on me. But we know from, Silicon Valley and other places that it's possible and that it happens. And we don't have people in our family that have access to money that can just infuse $1 million or even $100,000 into our business. So certainly access to capital and really just knowledge about how to build a foundation. What are the financial statements that you should be looking at in your business, and how do you know that your business is profitable and successful? And do you have a strategic plan of where you're going and how you're going to get there? What are the KPIs that you need to hit every month or every quarter to hit that number? We don't know. We're winging it. And so access to those resources are plentiful when you're trying to start a business. And there are programs that are there once you've excelled in business, but there's that gap in the middle, and that's what She Set feels. We fill that gap. We help people that have one toe in corporate America and the other in their side hustle. We help women who've succeeded and have reached a level of success. We also help women that are looking to exit their business because, we need to know what the valuation of our business is. And so tapping into those types of details and resources are the workshops that we provide at our conference.
Do you feel like there could be more done to help equip women, especially women of color, who are often, from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, often usually the ones that are left behind the most when we're talking about entrepreneurship, because oftentimes we don't have the resources and we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah. There are so many gaps and so many opportunities to provide more support. The one thing that I'll be honest to say is sometimes we don't ask for help, but sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And so, there are great champions like, the sponsors that are supporting us like JP Morgan Chase and Comerica Bank and my firm, El Renee and Associates, that are pouring our financial resources to make sure that these women have access to information. But yes, with the emergence of technology and AI, if we are not incorporating those things into our business, we are going to be leap years behind. So yes, there are tons of, gaps in our understanding and our access to knowledge, but it really is just helping them to know that it's there and to be able to provide it for them.
You were talking about that you created this foundation and this conference, and not to make money from it, but just to pour into other people. Why did you do that?
So honestly, I couldn't see it any other way. I think that there are a lot of programs and a lot of events that are happening. I think they're all amazing. There is enough room for all of them. But I think to keep the integrity and purity of our program, it is not about the money that we generate. It is about the money that other women generate as a result of being touched through our program. And so my company, my firm, invest our dollars into this, organization to make sure that it can continue to thrive and to be able to provide programming. But for me, I've been tremendously blessed. My company has been very successful and I'm so grateful. But I want to make sure that when people come to our conference, they know that they're there for the pure reason that we want to love on them. We want to roll out the red carpet, but we don't want them to come to a pep rally. We want them to come to a program that is going to give them the knowledge that they need, that's going to challenge them, that's going to make them feel uncomfortable, but they're going to leave all the better because they were there. And hopefully we're planting seeds that encourages them to grab someone else or to take that same investment that we've invested in them and to share it with someone else.
Do you feel like, because I think oftentimes and I found myself this way where it's like, okay, what I do for a living, maybe that's what God wanted me to do. That's the mission that God wanted me to do. Do you feel like this was your mission? This is your purpose?
1,000%. I jokingly tell everybody, this is the last year every year. And then here we are again 9 years later. But, as a result of my yes, there was a quote B. Smith said. She said, I was willing to stand on a mountain of no's for one yes. And so my yes to entrepreneurship made the yes possible for so many other people. I'm so proud. Like, I will see people that have said, because I came to your conference, you inspired me to start a conference. Because I came to your conference, I was blah, blah, blah. But one of the greatest compliments was my 4-year-old, who got a chance to come to our conference a few years ago. And she left saying, Mommy, I want to host conferences for kids. I want to teach them about being a business owner. And so in school, they did a what do you want to be when you grow up? And she had to create a whole poster. And she said, I want to be a boss. And I love that.
I know that's
because,
right.
you know, there are these, you know, careers that we hear about, lawyer, doctor, dentist, all those, and those are great. But our kids deserve to know that there are other options for them. And the same knowledge that we're teaching a lot of these women, we also teach this in our Big Business Little CEO conference. So we bring bankers and other folks in to talk to them about what it means to start a business. But the other side of it is we also teach and train their parents at the same time on how to nurture and cultivate that in their kids.
It sounds like you help foster an environment of a sisterhood. Because that's what you need.
Yes.
I imagine as a woman, when you look at other women who are business owners, to say like, hey sis, let me call you real quick and get your input on something. Is that what you kind of create?
Yes, but I want to also be honest with you. I am not afraid to call your baby ugly. And we need it because, you know, sometimes we need someone to say, listen,
that's not
I
right.
need you to get tighter on this.
Yeah.
Or I used your website and the duration of time that it took me to get to was not there. And so those are the critical conversations that we have to have. And if we're not having them, you know, it takes one bad experience that can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you know, that camaraderie that you talked about, we're not competitors, we're compadres, and we can support each other in business, but we can also support each other by being accountability partners too.
Yeah, it's best the criticism comes from me.
Yeah.
Someone who's trying to help you,
Yeah.
than come from a consumer who was actually just trying to pay you and actually get from what they were trying to buy from you in the first place.
Yeah. Sometimes we're nose blind in our businesses. We can't see those things. We can't smell that it stinks. But it takes somebody to lovingly come and constructively tell you, hey, come here, let me talk to you. Let me help you polish this. Let me show you so that you are ready and you don't miss those opportunities to, you know, get a new client or to retain client and to retain your business.
So some of the sessions you're going to have this weekend, I saw some of them listed and titled. Tell me more about some of those sessions.
So one of them is based on the TikTok sensation of give me my money. Yay. So we're going to bring in bankers that are going to be talking about ways to access capital in a traditional and non-traditional way. We're going to be talking about, you know, putting systems in place. So sometimes you are the reason why your business is not succeeding. So we have a facilitator that's going to be talking about how she scaled her business from being a solo entrepreneur to now employing over 100 people internationally. We're going to be bringing people in that have just recently sold their business for multi-millions of dollars, and to talk about the secrets of how to do that and how to be profitable. So everything that you can think of, you know, as it relates to technology. But the other thing that we also are going to be talking about is, you know, you can build a successful business, but if you're neglecting yourself, you're not going to be in business for very long. And so we're going to be bringing in successful entrepreneurs who've been able to see success in their business, but have also prioritized self-care. So we were very intentional about every year bringing these topics based on the pulse of what we're seeing that people are struggling with and where we know they need to go.
What is, because you learn so much personally and just in general when you are an entrepreneur, what is the number one thing you say you've learned just overall, and maybe even something you've learned about yourself on this journey being a CEO?
Gosh, there have been so many things. The one thing that I will tell you that really resonates with me is that failure is the new success. Failure is not doing it. And you will fall flat on your face so many times, but you've got to be willing to have that resilience to brush yourself off and to take a step back and say, what did I learn from this experience and how do I grow from this and move forward the next time? And so I would say the greatest lesson is to not allow failure to paralyze me, but rather to use it as fuel to go and to continue to grow my business. If somebody says no, I'm going to go to their competitor and they're going to say yes. And then I'm going to be talking about why you can't afford not to do business with me.
I know that's right. That is awesome.
Yeah.
What do you hope, not even hope, what do you believe women will walk away from with this conference and just in general? What do you believe they have walked away from with from your conference?
I will tell you that we all have a set of tools, right? Some of them that we use, some of them we've forgotten about. And I'm hoping that they leave with a tool belt or a toolbox full of tools that they can use in their businesses. But we will also be teaching them how to use them so that they can see the level of success that they want to, whether that is some sort of technology, whether those are documents or resources that we are making available to them. Many of them leave with just a treasure trove of knowledge and information that they can use. I will tell you, sometimes it's kind of like going to church where somebody says, you know, how was the service? Oh, pastor preached. That was great. Well, what did he talk about? I don't know, but it was good. We don't want that. We want them to know, no, I walked away with these tangible resources that I'm now going to take and use on my business tomorrow. Yeah. And I'm going to see success because of it.
Do you, when you look back at your start, remind me, how long have you been in business
13
personally?
13 years.
And I haven't even asked you about your own personal business for viewers. What exactly is your business that you do?
Thank you for asking. So El Renee and Associates is a project management consultancy firm, and we support companies by providing training, consulting, and recruiting. So we work with a number of municipalities and government agencies to deploy our project managers to manage their projects and to teach them how to effectively deliver their projects by minimizing their risk and increasing their profitability.
When did you make the choice to get away from corporate America and own your own business?
So I actually started my business while working in corporate America. I will remember sitting in my cubicle and going online to the Secretary of State and registering my business. And so I decided that I wanted to bet on myself. I didn't have all the answers, and I still don't, if I'm being honest. You know, we're all still growing. But I knew that I could take the equity of everything that I gained in my career professionally and to roll that into a business that would hopefully be successful. And thankfully, I was willing to take that bet on myself and to do that. So I want to be clear that it will feel scary. You will not always know the direction that you're going, but that's why having allies and a community around you and an ecosystem and, you know, supporters that will help to keep you focused and to keep you on track.
In the 13 years that you've been in business now, what would you say is your biggest challenge that you have faced getting in or just dealing with it being a CEO?
The biggest challenge that I faced, I think, is looking in the mirror and just recognizing that, you know, 13 years ago, I did something absolutely crazy. My husband teases and says, entrepreneurs are the craziest people because you're willing to just risk it all. It's easy to go back into corporate America and know that check is coming on the 1st and the 15th. But just continuing to remind myself that I have the responsibility of all of my employees to show up, that I have a responsibility to the mission and the vision and the goals of this business. And that, you know, even when I'm tired, even when I'm exhausted, that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And it brings so much joy to be able to see the faces of my employees who are able to manage their business, you know, within their homes and to do other things and to inspire other people through the work that I do to know that if I can do it as an entrepreneur, they can too. And
it sounds like you're doing exactly what God intended for you to do too, which is very important.
Yes.
So, well, I appreciate you being here and talking to me about your business. I'm inspired talking to you. I ain't even an entrepreneur. You about to make me go out and start my own business.
Listen, do it. All it takes is 2 minutes and we'll have a LLC and we'll be ready to go. But thank you so much.
How can people get in contact with you if they need assistance, if they need help, anything?
Go to our website, shesaidfoundation.org, and you can also connect with us on social media, She Said, She Led, and we will hopefully help to understand what your needs are and connect you to the resources that you need. So thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, Latasha Norwood, and we appreciate you also for being here for another episode. We'll see you back here next week.
You see, that's faith, believe, that's all you need. Can't sleep, but I